So, Caitlin Clark and Nike is one of the greatest fumbles in sports marketing history. Like, I think we can say this right now, that it is, without question, one of the biggest fumbles in history. We have got a player who is the most popular basketball player in the world right now, outside of Stephen Curry. And her agent somehow convinced her to sign an 8-year deal for $2 million a year. 8 years for $2 million a year. I repeat. Or is it maybe it's $3 million a year? Either way, I think it's less than $3 million. Either way, it is the biggest blunder in the history of marketing. The agent that brokered this deal should have been fired on the spot. Should already have been fired at this stage. Because a fair deal for Caitlin Clark is $20 million a year. And then also, on the other side, Nike have completely messed it up as well with their marketing. You're seeing Nike right now, and people are like, oh, but they need to produce what they can. But it's they produced a crappy Rookie of the Year t-shirt. We've seen what they produced for Rookie of the Year. We've seen what they produced for it. They put out this. I'm sorry. That's worse than the merch that I put out. At least from the Mick Talks Hoops merch, it's way cheaper. What price is this hoodie? $45? For $45, you can get yourself a WNBA style hoodie with Guess Who as the silhouette. As well as that, you could buy if you're an Indiana fan, you can go and rep the Christy Wallace. You can rep Christy Wallace, or you can rep, if you don't like defense, you got Who Needs Defense, or you can rep the Splash Sisters. Reality is here, the point guard. Some Temmie time if you want to rep Temmie. But you can get both of them for the price of this garbage t-shirt. Garbage. And you can see with this where it's obviously the people in Nike have said basically she is not getting her signature shoe anytime soon, basically because they need to give A'ja Wilson her shoe first. But yet they'll release a Paige Beckers shoe. Paige Beckers is getting her shoe. Is she getting an actual signature shoe? No. But they're releasing a PE of a shoe for Paige Beckers. They did not do the same for Caitlin Clark. And Caitlin Clark has wore GT cuts before. I know she wears Kobe's, but she has wore GT cuts in the past. There could be a GT cut Caitlin Clark that she wears a couple of times, GT cut 3s. But no, they intentionally did nothing. And here we've got a former Nike exec makes his Caitlin Clark shoe deal, his opinion extremely clear. When it comes to the rise of Nike, yada yada, needless to say, Vaccaro is an icon in the industry and his opinion holds a lot of weight. So, this is Sonny Vaccaro. Sorry, Jesus, this is the guy. This is the dude from the movie. I don't even remember the name. Is it Air, I think? This is the dude from the movie. This is exactly why his comments on the Nike deal with Indiana Fever superstar Caitlin Clark are worth taking note of, especially considering the fact he believed the WNBA All-Stars agent messed up. In a recent interview, TMZ Sports, the 85-year-old shared his brutal, honest opinions on how he believes Clark should have gotten a better deal on the $28 million contract that she signed with the sportswear giant in April this year. She should have gotten a piece of everything, he said, just like Michael Jordan. For context, Jordan's currently entitled to 5% royalties on every Jordan brand shoe set. I actually think she probably does have that deal. The problem is, if they don't release any Caitlin Clark merch, she doesn't get the cut. That's the biggest problem. Any of these signed athletes, and that includes Sabrina Ionescu, that includes A'ja Wilson, they all get a cut of their signature shoes. And the problem is, if they don't release, and by the way, the Rookie of the Year thing is not Caitlin Clark brand. They have to design a logo. I'm sorry, you are Nike. It does not take that long to design a logo. And to be fair, as bad as it can be, look, it doesn't. You've got A'ja Wilson's is a bottle opener. I get it. It might mean something. She designed it. I don't care. It looks bad. She's a great basketball player. Not a good graphic designer. This is a bottle opener. Caitlin Clark can't be worse than that. It just can't be worse. And we've then got now, Nike doing nothing. Pointed out that other shoe companies who dropped out a deal are Also, partly the blame is to give Nike a clear path towards signing Clark. However, at the end of the day, Clark's people should have pushed for a better deal, at least according to Nike Exec. I'm saying to you, they messed up. They should have held on to the last drop. Nike has locked up Caitlin Clark for 8 years, and that's the worst part about this. They have locked up Caitlin Clark for her prime. Like, Caitlin Clark is not going to be bigger in 8 years' time than she is right now. That's just reality. They locked up Caitlin Clark during the Mania and have done nothing. They have done nothing. At least other companies and other brands like Panini, with her signing, she still made millions of dollars. But she should have made, like, it should have been a thing that Caitlin Clark, she didn't even need a signature shoe. But, like, just don't, like, you know, you see how everywhere, Sabrina stuff is everywhere. Like, that Sabrina Ionescu logo, like, in women's section of everywhere they have basketball with Sabrina stuff in all Nike shops. Like, they should have at least released Clark t-shirts. They should have at least released, like, that's not the hardest thing to do. If you can make the Rookie of the Year things on demand, as ugly as they are, if you can make the A'ja Wilson stuff basically on demand, you had she signed that deal in April. And as well as that, you knew she wanted to be with Nike. She was with Nike all through college. And this is the only Caitlin Clark merch they've released. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. And you know it's bad when you've got the guy from the movie. The guy that brought Michael Jordan in, basically saying that it's her agent's fault. And it's funny, like, listening to the agent. I'll probably make a video later about it where she's like, oh, you know, it's like, you know, trying to make a deal. She's like Serena. She's like Simone Biles. And I'm like, no, it's not even remotely similar. One is a team sport. Two, it is easier to sell people a lot of the time on team sports than it is individual sports. Because, like, if you are, for example, a fan of, and again, there are not as many fans of gymnastics as there are. Once every 4 years, gymnastics is one of the biggest sports in the world. But, like, I'm sorry, Simone Biles in the year, last year, when she was just coming back, was not drawing in 19 million people to watch her jump. She will for the Olympics. She'll draw more than that for the Olympics. But, like, gymnastics is one of those sports where realistically, in terms of world popularity, it's once every 4 years. When it comes to tennis, Serena was a divisive character. Like, people liked Serena. People didn't like Serena. Like, again, it's he said, she said, but an umpire has said that Serena threatened to kill them. Like, people didn't Serena wasn't universally loved. So that's the kind of problem is. And even if Caitlin Clark's not universally loved, like, it wasn't one of those things where it's like, people don't wear tennis-related stuff just casually, but people do wear basketball-related stuff casually, if you get me. So they had everything there. Everything was there, and they just messed it up. They messed it up. She is one of the biggest sports stars on the planet. And they not only got her... Imagine having a deal where you are going to make hundreds of millions of dollars off a player, and you have got a player that you're going to make hundreds of millions of dollars on a deal where you are paying her 10% of what she's worth, and you're still not doing anything. Her agent, Nike, everyone involved. If I was her agent, I'd be trying to pull that deal. I'd be trying to pull that deal right now. Like, doing anything I would be doing everything I could to try pull that deal. And obviously nothing's going to happen. But if you're Caitlin Clark, not that you necessarily have the leverage to do anything within 8 years, but, like, you could probably negotiate. You could probably have some sort of negotiation on a raise. You could. That's what Caitlin Clark, like, that's the thing. Especially if, as your agent, you put your foot down and are like, no matter what happens, we are not staying with Nike at the end of 8 years if we stay there still. Like, no matter what happens, if you don't do something, we are not staying with Nike. And you got to push, but unfortunately, this agent, I don't know. Doesn't even seem to know how to really sell Caitlin Clark. And, I mean, Nike effectively scammed her. She let Nike effectively scam her, and Nike aren't doing anything with it. Like, it's ridiculous.